two-point conversion. Boom, and then the spin move. Reaching out for the two-point conversion.
He back again.
Back again, man. We got to talk about the
From no
Hurricanes.
videos to a lot of videos.
A lot of videos. Now we back again. People go for two. Keenan was telling me about the U specifically. Van Dyke. You're gonna tell me like you know exactly. So in best ways you can, because he is young. So like, yeah, what is it about him? Because man, this dude, I just see numbers. Like, he putting him up.
It's. I think Van Dyke's number one thing is decision making. Like, he got a couple interceptions, but first of all, we gonna talk about this in another video. I might do a solo video. We need to find a way to give receivers interceptions because.
Oh yeah,
when it's blatantly a receiver's fault, we gotta find a committee, somebody tallying those stats. Somebody put that in a Twitter thread somewhere.
Oh, you mean okay, like that? Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
not official stat.
Somebody record this information for every quarterback available. Something I don't know.
Yeah,
because he got a couple of. He don't got like a lot of those, but he got a couple of those. I think right now he had 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I don't remember exactly. Something like that. So
dude is balling though.
He has a arm. Like this.
That's what I saw.
Yeah,
an NFL arm. Yeah,
definitely. You got NFL. Yeah. He has an NFL arm. Like,
yep.
So between decision making, his arm, and I think he's it's not just that he's making good decisions. Like when he's not panicking, he's composed back there. So I think that week he ain't been tested like this before because even though FSU was not who they used to be, some by rivalry games. If you watch soccer, USA Mexico last night, it's not the best Mexico team I've ever seen. But you celebrate a 2-0 win like you celebrate any win against Mexico because it's USA against Mexico. Same thing. It's FSU. We could both be 0-9.
Everything.
That's the last game of the season. It's a bowl game for all I care. So we here. It's UM versus FSU. He hasn't had this game before. So it's gonna be another test for him. And I think he's gonna come out. I mean, again, FSU ain't as good, but I've seen a bad FSU team beat a good UM team. So
yeah. So as of this recording, this game has not played. So by the time you see this video, it'll be. This definitely is a pregame. We don't know when we're gonna get this up, but yeah, as of this recording, you know, that FSU's game. So win or loss will be the biggest test, and I'm gonna cut you off of Van Dyke's career. But you had mentioned something about like the way he's playing, like his numbers. This is what this dude is doing. He threw for 1,877 yards, 15 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions. 15 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions, and he just started. I don't know, like how many games has he started? 5. So in his 5 starts, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. This dude is legit. Like, 6'4", 224 pounds, as billed by ESPN. You mentioned that he has an elite arm. Like, one of the things that stuck out is an elite arm. So do you truly believe, or do you think, based on what you saw, he's not just a legit like a Heisman Trophy contender if all things continue, but is he an NFL prospect?
I believe the answer to that is yes and yes. Here's the thing, right? We talk about this in NFL mostly, but it happens in NCAA too, because obviously they have access to a lot of same stuff. The more tape you get on somebody, the more they're tested and the more they're figured out. People, I mean, people saying Patrick Mahomes figured out. That's not true. He's just making some bad decisions. But we can talk about that another time. The more film you got, again, the easier it is to prepare. But you can't prepare for a good decision maker. Because again, I've told people over and over again, there is a way to beat Tom Brady. We've seen the Dolphins have done it. It's not rushing. It's getting pressure through the middle. Tom Brady you coming through from the sides, Tom Brady gonna step up in the pocket every time. Coming through the middle, that's how you beat Brady.
That's how you
So
that's it.
With this, you because you can't beat a good decision maker. You can't beat a Peyton Manning or Tom Brady with a scheme because they are composed. They could see they know ball. And again, Van Dyke ain't playing a lot.
It's time to find your next Chevy truck.
What just happened?
So
everyone
take on new challenges.
We're not getting sponsored by Chevy. That was not an official. That was not an official commercial.
That is Mike's article having an ad.
That's exactly what
that ad, Mike.
Yeah, that was.
So yeah, thought my thing was on mute. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is you can't scout that.
Mm-hmm.
You could try to rattle him, but again, he's composed. He got an arm. I think he is obviously not this year, but next year Heisman contender possibly. Because again, with the thing that happens, the winner don't ever come out of nowhere. Well, not never, but usually don't come out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. But some of the other prospects do tend to come out of nowhere. So I don't want to say, oh, he's pinned down, he's gonna win it next year, because again, I ain't
winning. That's why I said contender, to be honest, because okay. So this is what I was saying for Van Dyke is some things that you said, which is him being composed. And again, this is not counting the FSU game for a few reasons. The FSU game could make him, it could just elevate, his status as a phenomenal quarterback, or it can, I don't think it hurts him, but it definitely, brings it to question, but it's how he plays after, so, but what he's done so far, like, for the Canes, kind of get them in a position where they feel like, we have something to root for going forward. And then as a prospect, I do think, he's somebody to watch because, his stature, his arm strength, because a lot of times you can see college quarterbacks, you just don't see the arm strength, and you can see it with him. I think another kid from Liberty, I can't think of his name right now, the quarterback from Liberty, Malik Willis, right? So to me, if you look at Van Dyke, you look at Malik Willis, the arm strength is similar. And Malik Willis, he's about to be a first round pick, probably going top 15. It depends on how his the draft process works, but I really do believe he's a top 10 pick, actually, because of the athleticism and escapability that he brings, and the fact that he's a power runner who can also have escapability in terms of his quick twitch, and he has a big arm, right? So he fits his modern day mold of NFL quarterbacks. You can kind of compare him like a poor man's Russell Wilson, okay, if you say. So I'm with you though. Like with Van Dyke, he kind of gives me hope. It's the hope I haven't had since Ja'Cory Harris, who let us all down, because he didn't really. The reason why Ja'Cory Harris in that whole class wasn't successful is because of coaching, I guess. He himself did not really fill out. He was still very much an extremely small but non-athletic quarterback. Yeah. And then Morris came in. We talked about it. Morris came in after him, and he was kind of like, he was really good, and we have a quarterback, and he left early. Now we have Van Dyke. We can build around Van Dyke going into his red shirt. He's a red shirt sophomore, or is he a true sophomore, or is he a freshman? Because the thing is, that confused me, because I know he was on the roster last year. Yeah. But he red shirted. He's a freshman, so he's a red shirt freshman. Okay. Yeah. He's on the roster. He's a red shirt freshman. So I would imagine they have him for at least 2 more years. I don't see him leaving next year. I just don't, because he didn't have enough tape this year. Yeah.
So he has to, another thing about it is, right, I mentioned this briefly, Miami's becoming. And it's gone up there with Alabama and Ohio. Alabama not too much, but where we get into a transfer hub. People coming down here where, because 10 years ago we watched college ball. We ain't talking about no transfer. You got to sit out a year. You wasting time on them. Now, I said it's not even a whole year. Some of these dudes finishing high school early just to get to college anyway. Like a Jerry Jeudy who graduated in January to go to Alabama for spring, and so sitting out 6 months ain't nothing. Now, so we getting all these transfers in. So now we got free agency and and Miami. Oh, come on.
See, I didn't see, and that's another thing. Is you don't really think about that, right? Like, with the transfer they have to figure out a way to limit it. Yeah, it's so new that now it's kind of like coaches can be afraid of not playing players early, because I hate the transfer portal to an extent. I hate the fact that because I'm not playing right away, I'm gonna just leave. Like where's the I think it's honestly gonna create a culture of this quitting and pacifier mentality, because for one, the high school kids already are pacifier, right? Like they go their entire career, you're great, you're amazing, you're great, you're amazing.
Like small towns.
Yeah. Oof. Then you get recruited by the big school, put the arm around you, man. You're gonna be our guy. We love you. You're gonna start, and you get put on the bench because they got a kid from Florida who also got his arm put around him, told that he was great, and then it also, we forgot about a kid we recruited from California who told us yes too. And it's like, I could get, if I don't like kids transferring their freshman year or sophomore year, I'm like, bro, just give yourself a chance, compete, work hard and go after it. I like the transfer portal because I do think, like Bama, when they had what it was, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Najee, they had a whatever the
or a Cam Newton situation where not only did he get in trouble, but he playing behind Tim Tebow.
And then before Tim Tebow was Chris Lee. So it's Chris Lee, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was never going anyway, so Cam was never going to get a chance to his senior year, and that's rough because you ain't 1 year as a college quarterback.
You're not going to win that Heisman like he did.
Yeah, he not winning the Heisman, and he wouldn't have been able to do that again at Florida as a redshirt senior. I think that's probably what we had to play. Some crazy crap like that we had to play. So, he got his 1 year and he won the Heisman, and the Heisman helped him become because he was able to carry a team because he was never going to get that chance at Florida. So if he'd have transferred earlier, it probably would have helped him. Now, to your point, like people's going to want to start coming to Miami for nothing else other than the ancillary things that's down here. That's a good and bad thing, because if they're transferring here just because of it's the location, but who wants to move that far away from their family anyway? I guess if you hate your family, you will. If you want to move, that far away and come to Miami for ancillary things, bro, like it ain't gonna work out anyway. So that's why I'm really too much kid. Like I think they should have like some type of limitation on the transfer portal. I like it.
So funny thing is, if we had these problems, like when I first started watching college ball, we would have been in trouble because we would have one less national championship because that backfield was stacked. So that's for sure. As far as UM goes, all about the U. In case y'all forgot,
we are University of Miami fans, but we're unbiased, as you can see. So
I mean, so here's the thing, right? With the transfer portal, because we wasn't gonna talk about this, but since you mentioned it, right? I think it's obviously like everything, because we do talk about things all the time. It's like everything, situation by situation basis. If you leaving just because you a freshman or sophomore, I ain't played yet, depending on the position too.
Depending on the position, yeah.
If you're a running back or a corner or a receiver, hey man, you gonna play. First of all, ain't nobody playing every down in college for forever.
Especially not a running back.
Especially not a running back.
Yeah, especially
number two. If the person in front of you is good, they'll leave because they're gonna get drafted. If they're not,
especially running back,
you get your spot. Like it's one or two things gonna happen here. So I think with that, but if it's like with the Ohio State quarterbacks, I think as much as I hate giving quarterbacks any extra privileges, because that's a bias I do have. I ain't no quarterback guy. So it is what it is.
But I agree with what you're about to say right now.
But things like, we got a lot of situations where that's just what had to happen, especially with Texas A&M, Oklahoma's, those schools where those offenses are explosive. They get a lot of transfer guys in. Like, hey, let me go down there. I'll show y'all what I can do.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and I'm gonna tell you this though. You said something about quarterbacks though, like giving them the extra benefit to transfer. The reason why that's important is because if you're coming in as a 4 or 5 star recruit at quarterback, and you know that you have to play early because again, the Cam Newtons that does happen, the Joe Burrow does happen, but look at how far and few in between that happens. Most of the quarterbacks they've played 2 or 3 seasons. If the objective is to be in the NFL, you have to have 2 seasons. Like ideally you want to be able to have 2 seasons. And if you got recruited, and you got recruited to a school where dude just not leaving because he's not good enough to go to the NFL, and he's still really good to where you could possibly win that championship. And he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, you should bounce because you're not. And then especially if you get recruited, and in the situation this too, if you get redshirted and then they recruit another guy who's also a 5-star guy. Let's say you're a 4-star guy, you got redshirted, then the 5-star guy comes in. But why would you even stay? Why would you stay?
I mean, I got no gripes against Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. No, he did the right thing. No, that would in a situation like that. Transfer portal was the best thing to happen.
But at the same time, I mean,
JT Daniels too.
I mean, but honestly, I think we could say Johnny Manziel might have could have started over Ryan Tannehill that last season. Ryan Tannehill was there, but
Johnny Manziel was he was.
Are we saying he should have left? Nah, I mean, it's a situation by situation thing.
Situation
he had to wait it out, and that shit kind of really, really worked out for him before it really did it. So
NFL is different though. Like you said, we can't. Yeah, college quarterback, NFL is NFL. He could. I think he could have been successful in the NFL.
Exactly.
I think he could have been successful, but the thing is, it was all this.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a situation like you got put your cards on the table. See, don't just be a whiny baby. That's what we're saying. And
that's what that's all we're saying. Like the transfer portal, because and again, I watch college football, but it's mostly for and I love college. Don't get me wrong. There are some aspects of college football that are much better than the NFL. Like one of the things I love about college football, and that's probably going to title. Like this is what I love. You said the offensive line.
I said for the score lines.
Oh no, not the score lines, man. the on-field stuff, which is the fact that corners can have contact down the field, and you know how they balance it out. And I feel like the NFL should do this is they allow the cornerbacks to touch receivers after 5, but it's only 1 foot in for a completion. To me, that's a good balance. Like you give a little, get a little. And I think the NFL should incorporate that. Old heads would be like, nah, the NFL's been like this this entire time. That's my Vince Man voice, but that's also my old head voice. It's been like this the entire time. We should do it. It should be 2 catches. And I'm like, but what do we also want? Me personally, I guess a lot of fans like, well, you can't touch receivers. Don't crush them. Don't start hitting them. Like, I don't want that. Like, I'm glad they changed those rules. I don't want that stuff. I just want them to be able to press at 7. You're insane because CTE is real.
Okay, that's true.
That's what I mean. Yeah, because again, think about it. Let's just because now that we're on the topic, one of the things about those rules is because of how hurt they used to get. Because we love seeing it. Like, oh my God, but the human aspect of it. You've played. Imagine getting dumped in your head all the time. Like, you don't necessarily like you sign up for it, nobody,
Yeah, rules almost always make sense in the sense like you can't suplex for a tackle.
I hated that. Oh my
that God, is a very important rule because there is. I mean, first of all, you already got them on the ground. You can just put them back down. That's number one. That's number one. You literally get their feet off the ground. You don't have to dump them on their head. Number two, it's a safety thing, right? So all this other stuff. But then you got things like the taunting rules, which don't protect anybody. They're just stupid. So
that is the dumbest thing in all of Niggerdom. And so really quick, because I want to get back to that because you mentioned that, is college football, man. That contact down the field is super important. It screwed up guys like Denarius Denard, or I think that's his name, Denard, he played for Michigan State, and then he wound up being drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, Darqueze Denard or something like that. And he was a press guy, but he had contact so far down the field, it minimized his impact in the NFL because he couldn't do that same thing. And he was his game. Sorry, go ahead.
So it's like when you talk about certain quarterbacks playing certain systems, you want this quarterback because he plays in an NFL system. When it comes to cornerbacks and sometimes safeties, depending on what type of scheme they were running, that's a very big thing. It's like, well, your best thing is physicality, and we can't do that here. So we
can't. Yeah, if you got a who wins, at because of contact down the field,
like a Carl Joseph. Carl Joseph, really physical at West Virginia. He went to the Raiders, and he can let it boom down a little bit, but he couldn't cover. So.
Neil, what's his name? His last name is Neil. Right now, they moved him from. Oh my gosh, I can't think of his name right now.
For the Falcons.
He plays for the Falcons. He went from safety because he was a very physical safety. It's now, don't get me wrong, it worked well for him, but then he only fits in very specific scheme. Like he could play for Arizona. I was about to say the Falcons run like a linebacker safety hybrid for all their. Arizona does that as well, and then even the Dolphins, he would fit well with the Dolphins because of how they use different blitz packages and how they move their guys around. But ideally,
heard us? Did you hear us, Chris Greer? He didn't hear us. So continue.
So now Chris Greer, we shout out to you because we was on your side for a long time, Chris Greer. This was supposed to be a Duff podcast. We was on your side for a long time. We was like, oh my God, he's making so many great moves, getting all these picks. What have you done, Chris? We loved it. All black everything, right? Black GM, black head coach. We was like, hey man, we forward. In Miami, why not? Chris, you let us all down, man. Let us all down. Reggie McKenzie, shout out to him because maybe he's our next GM.
Oh, that would be dope.
I'm a big fan of like Scott Pioli though. I know he's been on like NFL Network and stuff, but he was constructed the Patriots and he helped construct the Falcons, that Super Bowl team. Like I'm a big fan of Scott Pioli. So Reggie McKenzie, I would love. Scott Pioli is up there. I don't know anything about GMs. We none of us do because that was our scouts and stuff like that. So we have no idea. So we just do our fantasy GM. One day we'll do that.
Unless you're back. I don't know nothing about GM. So.
But yeah, we could do it. I already got the squad. Me, you, Juan, and Jeff.
Maybe not Jeff. Jeff gonna be firing soon.
He will fight everybody. Yeah, no, but that's why we split. Like we have to all vote against him to make sure he doesn't do that crazy.
You're right. That's how we battle.
Definitely. Yeah, that's how to do it. But let's take it back. So that's the thing about college ball, man. Is like that's what I love about it because they have a certain physicality that the NFL doesn't have from a defensive back perspective. And yeah, like I'm a running back guy, but I love defensive backs. I love scouting them. I love teaching them. And, I love that position.
That's why, I like Big Ten because, Big Ten get the receivers, but people forget. Hey, what about those corners who was defending these receivers this whole time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
all get destroyed. Some of them play really good. Let's go look at some.
That's a really good point. And I think one way you can match that is like for anybody trying like at home scout is let's say you have a Big Ten receiver who's normally put up great yards and they're playing against a team and you notice that the yards are not quite there. Go to that roster, look at the corner who played them and see, how to, and try to find out, how they match them up and then kind of look up the name, just dive into like if you're a fan, like that's kind of how you have to go in and scout players. Like if you can't watch every game, you obviously listen to the aficionados and you kind of do your own research. Yeah. But yeah, like that's another thing I like about college. But it just seems like the atmosphere is different. It's fun because again, it's a different type of spirit. It's like watching a Kansas City Chiefs game every week at home. A Green Bay game every week at home. So, it's like, and we don't get, like, as a Miami fan, like the Dolphins, we don't get that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like we just don't. Even
I do a video on that, how no team has the ramifications at home that Dolphins do, because we have so many tourists and movers and all the other stuff.
The Miami Heat was suffering from that, like after Brown left.
Yeah.
Yep. It was like, man, like people wasn't really going to the games like that. The home crowd wasn't like, the same. And I get it, because Miami has so many things to do. So like it's a lot. It really is a lot down here. Like we live.
There's a difference between like Heat playing at night and Dolphins playing Sunday at 1:00. So there's gonna be some Dolphin fans in there, but because so many travelers, people who just move here, especially New Yorkers, Patriots fans.
Just about the Jets and the Patriots, they always be full when we play them teams.
Yep.
Juan, even though you're not a Jets fan, even though you lived in Miami longer than you lived in New York, you're the problem.
Yeah.
So,
yes, sir.
So, but yeah, man, I don't know. I like college ball. I don't watch it as much as I want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to be able to just sit down and watch like every game. Now I do it. Like right now, I had game day morning on. I have a question for you real quick, because I know you said you don't watch as much, but have you been following Jackson State and Dion?
Yes.
Man.
If I could watch just HBCUs and UM, maybe ACC. Yeah, if I watch just ACC and HBCUs, I'll probably watch a lot more college ball.
Let me tell you something. And we're in the video here. What Dion is doing, because I really want to know your thoughts. This man has a philosophy that I know for a fact you agree with, and me and Juan has always talked about. Skill, technique over popularity.
Right. That's
what his school is. This dude played a money game. You know what I'm saying? Like, the ones where, like, where they go and they have to play a big school. They didn't get crushed. I forgot who it was. I don't think it was Wake Forest. It definitely wasn't Wake Forest, because Wake Forest be crushing everybody. But I forgot what school it was. It was D1 school, FCS school, and they held it down. They're 7-1. The only loss on their record, FCS, and it was a very, very close game.
Right.
So
that was
because he said
too.
It was early in the season too. So you can imagine he probably will beat them now, and they have a freshman as a quarterback.
Right. So
Dion, I hope he really doesn't leave, and I hope what he does is a guy like Herm Edwards, right? He goes from Arizona State to an HBCU, right? And you have other coaches that's doing that, so that can grow. But Dion is showing something. Is however they're doing it is not the only way. Right. That's Dion a question, and I think you probably seen this on the Brandon Marshall show. Or somebody, I don't know who it was. So you don't be in the office, for like 20, 16, 17, 18 day hours. He's like, no, I love my family. He's like, so dudes that be doing that, like, he said they just do it because they don't want to go home.
Oh, for sure. If you watch soccer like I do, they got some of these English soccer coaches. They retire and unretire so many times. They're 70. So you don't have to coach till you're 70, 80. You just don't want to go home to your wife. Yeah. It's quite simple.
And no, he was talking about time though.
Hours. Yeah, I'm saying
you're saying even in general, like
it's a similar situations. Like, you don't have to coach the game. It's like, because a lot of these coaches, they're coming in for jobs that no one else wants. They're not playing. It's not like, I'm winning a bunch of games. Like some of these coaches in soccer with 1,000 games under their belt, like I could say the last 4 that reached 1,000 that I watched reach 1,000, they last 3, 4, 5 seasons were not good seasons. But they're just doing it because, they want to go home. It's a similar situation with people who watching film, like a Sean McVay watching crazy amounts of film. It's like you just don't want to go home. Like he's smart enough to get that same output with less time. Yeah, and then if he compartmentalize and prioritize. And I don't know if he's married, but like Kip Kingsbury's probably type of dude. Like he watch a bunch of film. Obviously, you can see it because it shows up on the way he's in the same vein of Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Cliff Kingsbury. For all the people that laughed. News: Robert Woods torn ACL. OBJ time is about.
Wow. On air breaking news. And then by the time we should have been live on YouTube.
What?
Should have been live on YouTube. That's crazy. But if by the time you see this video, we just talked about OBJ, why it wasn't a good fit for him in LA, and apparently
the universe heard the football gods. Big stealing cup OBJ. The universe heard me say it. I'm sorry, Robert Woods. I did not mean to do that to you.
No, that's not what my intention was. What happened. Yep. The football gods would listen to Kenny, and
they usually don't, or the Dolphins would want to.
Oh man, let's not talk about them. But yeah, so just real quick, then we'll wrap it up. But yeah, with Dion, like he was saying, like, one of the things he does is he prioritizes. He says he does wake up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. That's when he does his workout from like 4 to 5. Then he goes from like 5 to 7 with his coaches, at 5 to 6:30 with his coaches. Then he bring the team in from like 6 to whatever 12 or whatever it is. Then from 12 to 4 they do film study. From 4:30 to 6 they do something else. I think the last meeting for the coaches 6 o'clock you on. I'm like, well, that makes sense.
I pay attention for a couple reasons though, because first of all, HBCUs. I'm always I plan on going to HBCU FAMU soon. Number two.
Oh, leaving us?
Anyways, Dion has always been my guy. He's my
for sure
favorite of all time. He's the only FSU I have ever liked, probably will ever like.
You lie, Peter Warwick. You gotta have like the work done. You lie.
I hate them too.
I hate them too.
I respect them. I don't like them. Dion, respect and like. And then you got, you got guys like Jerry Rice came out of HBCU, Shannon Sharp. Like it's
so many. No, there's so many.
We really look at it like we should be paying attention to them anyway, regardless. Yeah. So and now they on TV.
So the draft and then because Dion said that his goal is to get them drafted in the same draft as big schools. Like he don't want it to be an HBCU draft, which I agree. It shouldn't be that. Nope. They should be included absolutely within the NFL draft. But I did say this. The XFL is coming back, right? They should dive into more HBCU players.
We gonna be doing videos on that. Trust me. When they play games, I mean, here's my question. Right, what's the difference between HBCU and let's say the school Carson went to, Trey Lance went to, South Dakota? What's it like? There's
there is no difference.
But those guys getting drafted last couple years.
I don't know why a quarterback from HBCU don't really get drafted like that. That to me, that's another video for another day. We'll talk about that. And another thing that Dion said is the biggest difference from the HBCUs and bigger schools is the offensive lineman.
Yes.
That's what he said. Because I'm like, skill-wise, zero chance that Alabama has a better receiver than every HBCU. Nah, come on now. Nah. So definitely HBCUs, they're on the come up. Keep watching. My Latino brothers, y'all got to start playing with football. We know some dudes that are just phenomenally skilled. I'm talking about phenomenally skilled. One of them, like we played with for a long time, street football, Juan Hidalgo. He has a son, Jaden, who probably might not play football because football is dangerous and makes sense. You might as well play baseball or give him some injections to start working on his jump shot because it's just safer. But man, like the thing is, I really want people from like the community, just to kind of come together, like baseball and football is what we got from like Blacks and Latinos, which there shouldn't be a big separation because if you know the history of Latino history, all come from the same place. So Christopher Columbus. Shout out to him. We just had
shout out to him. No shout out.
If it wasn't for him
and
kidnapping and murdering people and bringing them home, please, colonizing America, colonizing Honduras.
Problematic. But this didn't go for two. We've done look, we went from we've been on a while, but we back.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Especially
all right. Yeah, and you always catch me on Random Ranch. You catch him on.
Got me on Boom Bus. That's where we talk fantasy talk.
Behind the curtain wrestling. I forgot.
I'm in two different leagues. I'm in 3 leagues. Last 2 weeks, I'm 6-0 So I mean.
Oh yeah, he winning.
I'm out here coming. Look, you need that fantasy advice. I got you on there.
Yeah.
So check me out on there. I'm putting the link in the show notes, all that.